You're listening to the Tumbling Saber Podcast, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. Check us out on the web at starwarscommonwealth.com, on iTunes, Facebook, and Twitter, and take your first step into a larger world. Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 104 of the Tumbling Saber Podcast. I'm Kyle.
I'm Corey.
And I'm back again, James O'Flaherty. Hi guys, I'm excited to be back.
Hi, James.
Guys, 9 days left. 11 as we record. Close to 10, but really when this drops, 9 days left until The Last Jedi drops. What
Oh, man.
the hell, man?
Yeah, that makes it really real. I hadn't even thought about it like that, but... Oh, man. Single digits, baby. I just got the shivers there.
Well, the next time, so do the math. Next time we record, 2 days until it drops.
You just made Corey feel a little bit sick in his stomach.
No, I'm excited,
that's something
man.
else.
Yeah. I got to tell you guys, I am pumped. I'm here again, so that means I reached out to Kyle again and said, can I please podcast with you guys because the movie's coming, and I'm really excited about it. And of course he said, yeah, welcome aboard.
Of course. Yeah, no, it's starting to get real up in here.
It is.
Man, oh man. Do you guys feel like it's hard to really parse this at this point of the process, and it'll be hard to talk about right after, but do you think we could be staring at, let's just say, the best Star Wars film? Do you think that's coming right down the pipe here?
I think it's really likely, with everything that we've heard.
Wow!
The best Star Wars...
I love it. I think it's really likely.
I said possibly
Step
likely.
aside, George.
Well, I mean, come on. Empire's the
come
best
on.
of them, right?
Yes.
So, in our opinion, anyhow.
In many, I should say.
It very well could be. I don't want to say like, yes, and I'm hoping for, like, I think it's going to be that, but I'm honestly hoping for that, and all the buzz surrounding it, the feeling that I have right now, like the hype, just whatever's going on in fandom and what we've heard thus far and the trailers and just everything, like, it's very possible that this film could rise right to the top of the charts, man.
But I think people are going to enjoy just the flippant manner. Yeah, it's likely will be. People I think are going to get a kick out of that. What about you, James?
I think it's very likely. I also think it's very likely going to be the best one. I mean, it's not going up against much. It just has to be 2 hours long and in space, essentially, and it'll be the best Star Wars movie.
Oh, you mean to Corey?
I can't believe you said that so easily, but I think I know what you mean in your retconning of your own statement.
Like, I never would have said...
You want it to be.
Yeah, I want it to be, but I have a feeling about this film, like, more so than I've had any other Star Wars film prior. Maybe The Phantom Menace, I was as excited, or I don't know, there was something going on that just we didn't know, really. You know, like, there was just mystery behind it. Like, it was huge for The Force Awakens again. Like, I felt like I almost had a heart attack while the scroll was going up, or the crawl. But, there's just something surrounding this film right now that really has me feeling that we're in for something special. And I've been saying it again, and I'm only going to get to say it probably 2 more times, but, like, I just want to cherish and remember these moments building up to this, because, it's like the Empire of our generation, hopefully, like, I want to get these surprises and these questions that we're going to have after the film, and we're just probably going to have a meltdown after the film,
A meltdown, maybe. Something like that. We'll talk about that more a little bit later, specifically. Yeah, James, anything else you slip in there?
Yeah, I'll say about the best. I mean, if Corey's right, well, she might be. I'm not going to say it as casually. But if he's right, I think we can't really know that until at least we have something, some road behind us. You can't say that unless you're looking in your rear view mirror, I think, and with some serious time to think about it. So like 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, maybe we'll be able to say that. But I don't think we can say that walking out of the movie. We can feel like, the most excited, but I don't know that my opinion will be founded and secure until a few viewings and much thought, and until we talk about it to death and all that over the next months and years.
I have to agree
like
with you there.
it's old news. It's old news now, but it took Empire a long time to rise to the top. A lot of people were really dismayed when they first saw it, right? So it could be the same here. It might take a while for this movie to become fully appreciated, or it might not. Who knows? I get where Corey's coming from. That with every subsequent movie, I hope it's the best movie ever. I don't want to say, oh, this one's like 8th out of 9, man.
Let me ask you guys this: like, do you feel that there's a different like mojo surrounding this film, so to speak?
Yes, it is different than, say, The Phantom Menace and The Force Awakens, in that it's the first and we're all super excited just to see it on the screen again. This one carries a weight of expectation around it because of the reveals that's been promised, and because of the shocking nature of these reveals, whatever it is. And I think also because of Carrie Fisher. We're all kind of misty-eyed over seeing her final performance, right?
Definitely. That's adding to it. I don't know that it feels bigger to me than The Phantom Menace. That did feel awfully big. And I know this does too. The Phantom Menace really had a lot of momentum.
Oh, yeah. No, that I think still... I mean, we just got through The Force Awakens a couple years ago, which had a lot of buzz behind it, especially with social media. But Phantom Menace is... Jeez, that's a tough one to top, man.
Yeah, it was so many fun years building up to The Phantom Menace. Like, my teens led up to that. It was so great.
Yeah, it was a different world then. I mean, it was just 18 years ago, but a very different place, especially online. All right, before we circle back to any of this stuff, I just want to pump our powerful friends' super terrific, silly, happy The Last Jedi quiz that we put out. We released that last week with Sith Disturbers, and I put out the newsletter today for the powerful friends with a link to that. So come on, guys, get on it. We got 4 replies so far. And it takes a couple minutes to breeze through those questions. And as I mentioned, the prize is my Vanity Fair poster from Annie Leibovitz's Last Jedi shoot. So get on that. I put a picture of that in the show notes, the newsletter. So you can salivate over that a bit. And if you're not in our Patreon program, you can do so by going to patreon.com/tumblingsaber. You'll get access to that quiz, as well as a bunch of other things like exclusive podcasts, giveaways, a bunch of other stuff, really cool stuff. The powerful friends will attest that the content we're churning out here at the Meat Grinder is pretty damn tasty. So,
do it.
All right, so thanks for allowing me that. All right, collecting update real quickly. Corey, anything this week?
God, I've actually been hitting the stores pretty hard this week, like for Christmas stuff, and I'm always out there on the hunt for myself as well at the same time. And still, there's like nothing. Like I'm gonna give it to Walmart here. I'm gonna mention names. There's nothing. Even the honey hole is run dry. Very disappointed. Like no restocking of the good stuff. But I headed over to TRU and I dug through like 50 Black Series figures. Like, man, they got so many Gree there. It's incredible. They still won't come down on the price either, those idiots. But anyhow, I found one General Leia Organa. I wanted that bad, man. Gotta have me my Leia collectibles, man. And so I picked that up. I was pretty happy about that. That was today. Other than that, like, I just want to complain a bit. Like, I'd seen... you compare them to the Guardians of the Galaxy toys. The sculpts on their faces are incredible. Like, all of them are so good from Guardians. And, like, the Star Wars line, they're really all just kind of okay. It's really disappointing. I don't understand, like, where that's coming from. But anyhow, other than that,
maybe a question for Tim and Troy and Sanjay at the Nerd Room. Maybe they know more about where the sculpts come from, where the models come from. I was
they're
under the impression that everything is like a 3D scan now. So I don't know.
I don't know, the ones at Marvel seem to be like leaps and bounds ahead right now. But I also adorned the Christmas tree with all my Star Wars ornaments, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, I gotta get on the
Good for you,
Christmas
buddy.
tree.
And I received my
Tis the
Secret
season.
Santa gift. Whoever got it for me, I still don't know. It's a pretty big box. I'm pretty excited.
Whoa, wow.
That is fun.
So nothing for me this week on the collecting front, but I did make a stunning discovery at home. And I wanted to make a video of this and put it into the TSW VIP feed. And Mark suggested, just go ahead and stream it. He just gave me full permission to go ahead and do it. And I think anybody who wants to jump on and do that can do it. But I quickly realized that I needed a second pair of hands to really make the video work. So here I am, overselling the whole thing, and it's really not that special. But I took a couple days off work, and I was gutting my storage room. And I came across these poster tubes, which I assumed were my wife's. And so I never paid attention to them. We've been living together for over a decade now. And I never looked into these tubes. This time I decided, well, what's in here? Why am I carrying these around? It was all my old Star Wars posters from when Corey we lived with our parents way back in the day. So man,
Nice find.
It was a sweet, sweet score. I couldn't believe I still had those. And there was a bunch of other stuff in there too. So
Jackpot.
Yeah, man, I was.
Yeah, it's a trip down memory lane, baby. Like, even I was at Kyle's house yesterday, and he was like, check this out, and it's like clear as day. Like, I remembered all those posters, man. Even though they're a bit beat up, which is fine. They're posters.
And these are game worn posters, man. These have years of adornment on my walls.
Indeed.
And so now they're back up. They're back up on the walls. A couple of them made it into my new Tumbling Saber studios. As clearing out the storage room allotted me some space, so I am in the storage room now. But I've got a lot more space, and I don't have to worry about waking up the kids as I'm on the other side of the house, which is good.
Whoa. Slow down. With Christmas coming up, we need to know more about this new studio. Security tighter, or?
Don't worry, James. I got you covered on this.
Yeah, you're good, Corey. We don't have to worry.
Don't worry. I got the schematics.
Thanks, buddy.
You're not supposed to reveal that on air. Just an FYI. Yeah, so I put those posters back up. So it was like the Style A New Hope poster, and then the I guess teaser posters for Empire and Jedi. So the black one with Vader's head on it, and then just the lightsaber, the hands holding the lightsaber for the Last Jedi or Return of the Jedi poster.
Gorgeous, man.
Doesn't say revenge on it, does it? That would be cool.
So happy to find those.
Good for you. That is a good score, because that's the kind of thing when you don't see it for a while, you just assume that's never coming back.
Well, it's funny because I think when I was talking to Bradley on the last Worthy of Recognition, I'm pretty sure I don't know if I mentioned it. Maybe it was offline where we talked about it. I think I specifically mentioned I threw those out. Somehow in my mind, I recalled throwing those out when I moved out of the house. But no, they're here.
Yeah, you would have been an idiot to have thrown those out.
Maybe he did throw them out, Corey, in the wills. You know the wills.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. But if no, it doesn't. If it was the wills, it would have ended up in my possession.
Play the long game, my friend.
Well, I'm playing the long game on the X-Wing Luke.
This is your version of the long game.
Please?
Is it? Yeah, Christmas is in 3 weeks, and this, I don't know.
And my birthday's in 4 or 5 weeks. Like, man, hit, 2 birds with 1 stone, bro.
Like that, I think that should get me immunity from your birthday and Christmas gifts for a while.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty generous when it comes to giving.
If you if you laminate them, you could cut them into jigsaw puzzles and give them just one piece at a time for the next several Christmases.
Oh dear.
I'd still take it, probably.
Anyway, the Empire Strikes Back poster, I had to put that one up. It's got a prime spot in my Star Wars home theater room, which is slowly coming together. But I like the way it's looking. All right, so guys, I'm taking a tangent here because I got a message from a friend the other day. Actually, it was yesterday, and he's like, "WTF is this?" And it was just a black and white image of the Star Wars Holiday Special, the poster. I'm tempted to read the whole conversation here, but it's maybe more of a Sith Disturbers thing. But essentially, as I said, just turn around, walk away, forget this conversation ever happened. But he was committed. He said, I have to watch this. I said, dude, as bad as you think this can be, it's 100 times worse. As low as you think it can go, it gets worse. Anyway, he plowed ahead, and I said, just send me your thoughts once you're done, because you will be a changed man. And so he sent me his review. And I'm going to try and get through this. It's a little lengthy, and I have a pretty rockin' head cold here, but I think this is worth the time. It's pretty funny. So, this is from my friend Matt, who I told him I was going to do this. So, here we go. This voyage begins with discovery. There it was in front of me, the image of a poster from 1978, proof it existed, the Star Wars Holiday Special. How had I missed this? How had I never seen it? I have friends who are expert on the subject. Surely they know I love everything from the galaxy far, far away. Surely they know I am a man that runs deep with holiday spirit. I reached out to a man I knew would have answers, a guru of everything Star Wars, my good friend Kyle. That's me. The message, nay, the warning I received in return heeded caution. To paraphrase, you can't possibly imagine how bad this is. Turn back now before it's too late. There was certainty, maybe even fear in his voice. I've never been one to back down in the face of a challenge. I survived Jar Jar and lived to tell the tale. So with a little research, and much to George Lucas's dismay, I found a copy and literally got my popcorn ready. The first thing I notice is that this special interrupted the regularly scheduled episodes of The Incredible Hulk and Wonder Woman. Shame on them! Then it begins. The Falcon is racing towards me. Imperial ships in tow. There is hope! Han is at the controls, Chewie by his side. There is hope! There is hope! That is where the hope begins and ends. From that point on, I don't fully understand what I watched. First, there are transitions from badly drawn cartoon backgrounds to what can only be described as a long-forgotten set from Reading Rainbow. We meet Chewie's family, waiting for his arrival for a special holiday. Then we experience a Cirque du Soleil performance and accept that I'm certain he has never seen the special. I have thought this is where Guy Laliberté got his inspiration. Given the option to rewatch that scene or the scene from Deliverance, I may choose Deliverance. This is followed by a simulated holiday cooking show and 3 absurd musical performances. One of these by Jefferson Starship. These are
and
just
B.
disturbing. I wished immediately I could unsee and definitely unhear the performances. The cartoon that follows is the highlight of the special without any doubt. It has a 70s, 80s Hanna-Barbera charm and almost has a narrative. Understand the compliment. This is the best of a very bad set of features. Intertwined with these features is the main storyline. Think Dolly coming home to Kenny for Christmas in between some musical duets, but way worse. I think there were attempts at comedy. The only funny thing about the special is how nonsensical it is, and I'm sure that was unintentional. The final scene of Wookiees walking peacefully into what seems to be the sun may prevent me from sleeping for the rest of eternity. Sure, there are cameos of the familiar characters and actors. This by no means saves the special. It is questionable that they even participated. What is clear is Carrie Fisher, rest in peace, seems intoxicated during filming. If she was, good for her. It may have been the only thing that kept it bearable. A year and a half before this aired, Star Wars was released and changed movie making and watching forever. Watching this holiday special has in fact changed me forever. I now bear deep scars in my psyche that can never be undone. I was warned.
Well done.
What's honestly amazing, Matt, about the holiday special is the fact...
Which Matt is this?
This is Mr. Balser.
Yeah, for sure.
I knew it was Balser. I was about 99% sure, but you didn't say it before, so I'm like, you would have told me it was Balser because I know him.
Yeah, that is our good buddy Balser.
I want to comment a couple of things. First of all, I'm impressed and a little disappointed with one tiny part. The Reading Rainbow reference reminds me of LeVar Burton, which is a Star Trek reference, so it doesn't belong. And the other thing, Matt, is you referred to it as the holiday special like 6 times, and after the first 2 minutes, after you lost all hope, you should never call it the holiday special again because there's nothing special about it.
Oh, it's special.
What's
really amazing though?
This thing is so bad. This is what I was telling Matt. Like, it's so bad that it's beyond putrid. As bad as you think it can be, it's beyond putrid. But it goes all the way around the dial, and almost becomes worth watching because it's so bad. Like, it's a marvel to behold.
I'd say it goes past that. There is stuff like that that's so bad it's good.
Sharknado.
Like, Fubar. Yeah. Well, yeah. But either way, I think this is so bad that it's just bad. I don't know that it's good.
Well,
yeah? Like, it's enjoyable? You can...
No.
I don't know.
It's unbearable.
He made the mistake of watching it alone. If you watch it with a couple buddies...
That is a mistake.
And you can just crack up and laugh and just feel the horror. He said, I saw it on a 55-inch surround sound, thankfully in bed so I could go fetal. And I just recommend it. The best thing to do now is soak yourself in kerosene, flick a match, and let nature take its course.
And
yeah, it's bad.
There was definitely some some heavy drug influence in that. But like, again, the most amazing thing about that is how, Star Wars was so successful, so amazing. They said, we got to do this holiday special, and this holiday special was so incredibly atrocious. But Star Wars afterward thrived. Like, this holiday special could very well have been like the Batman 66 of this franchise. You know what I mean? It could have just taken the legs right out of everything and just be like, Star Wars is a friggin' joke, man. Like, did you see the holiday special? Like, who's gonna go see Empire Strikes Back now? You know what I mean?
Well,
it could have very well done that.
That was a fear of Lucas's, because he tried to kill this thing, both, I think, before and after it came out. Like, he had nothing to do with this thing, other than he created the characters. He was busy with Empire, so he didn't write this, direct it, edit it. He had no part of it.
It's not good, and I wonder too. Like, did you ever consider that maybe that's what the Empire's striking back against? It wasn't the Rebels. It was the holiday special.
Deservedly so. Anyway, I told him. I said, if you want a nice palate cleanser, the thing you should do now is go on YouTube again and look for the Donnie and Marie special on Star Wars, which is also equally frightening. The guys at Gen X-Wing did a breakdown of that.
It's a little more well put together, though.
Is it? I think the production. I mean, it's not the grand endeavor that the holiday special is, but it is in the same vein of, wow, like, people just wanted to tack their name to Star Wars at that time. Anyway. Glad I got that out of the way. But, yeah, I guess with the holidays here, it seemed appropriate to at least mention the holiday special, and hopefully we never have to talk about it ever again.
Oh, it'll come back up.
Oh, probably. Okay. So, James, you're back. So I feel like we should talk a little bit of Tolkien. I feel comfortable doing so, because, hey, this is our show. We can do what we want. And I feel like there's enough crossover anyway, at least amongst our longtime listeners, that they won't mind us this little detour. There's not a lot of Star Wars news. I'm starting to avoid a lot of the news and TV spots, so we're not even going to be talking about that stuff this week. So I figure we got a few minutes here to talk some Tolkien. Is that okay with you?
Always okay with me.
Well, first, I guess we should again plug an Unexpected podcast, which is it's in pre-production, right? Like, you and Ads have already gotten down to brass tacks here?
We've actually got, it's funny, this episode will drop after I tell Ads this, so it's okay that I'll tell you guys first. He doesn't know this yet, but we canned episode 1. It's in the can, and we recorded episode 2 tonight, but we're going to scrap it, and we're going to do it again, because I'm not happy with it, and he doesn't know that yet.
This all sounds so familiar.
It's not the quality of the... it's not a problem. There was no technical problem. It's just we tried to do too much in one episode, and so we're going to break the same amount of content into 2, because we're learning as we go.
Oh, so you pulled the Batman versus Superman.
Exactly right. And it's a jumbled mess. I listened to it back, and I thought, At first, I thought we'd be able to save it with editing, and long story short, we're gonna just do it in 2 shows.
Well, this is Silmarillion, right?
It is. We're going through chapter by chapter, and we thought we could do the first chapter and introduce sort of all the characters from the first chapter in 1 hour.
Ooh.
And you can't.
It's that dense, is it?
It's only like 11 pages the first chapter too, but there's just so much going on in terms of introductions that we're gonna do it in 2 shots now. And by the time January 1st rolls around, we should have maybe 3 or 4 shows in the can, and that's when we plan on dropping it. Because there's no point in going head to head with the holidays and Star Wars. People are busy.
No, and it's good to drop 3 or 4 episodes at once. I think people can give a little mini binge and get real deep in.
And I don't think we'll drop them all at once. I want to keep at least 1 in the hopper. Since we won't be doing a lot of news stuff, I want to have the flexibility to, like, if we have a problem one week, a technical problem or scheduling problem, and that's more what I'm worried about with the 2 time zones, that we have 1 ready to go, sort of.
Yeah, that's reserve. A great idea. That is actually a very good idea. We tried to do that once upon a time here with Sith Disturbers and all these other secondary shows that we have. Just record it the week before, just in case. But
there's too much Star Wars news.
It fell apart. Well, not even Tumbling Saber. Just Sith Disturbers, Journals of the Willing. Let's do it the week before, and then I have a whole week to sit on it and polish it up. But yeah, no, that fell apart like immediately. So James, I had a question for you, and I guess it's aimed at people who have not yet gotten into Tolkien, either by the films but specifically by reading. And I tried to poke around online, and I got zero consensus. So where does somebody start? Do they start with the easiest read, which is probably The Hobbit, and then follow that through to Lord of the Rings? Or should they back up and read the Silmarillion and get the whole scope of Middle-earth and the whole mythology? But I found people giving answers for almost everything, and there's zero consensus. So what's your take?
So I will say that I think it depends on a few things. I think it depends on if you've seen the movies. My answer would be different if you have and haven't. And I think it depends on how old you are.
Good answer. Good answer, man.
Because you're not going to point a 10-year-old to the Silmarillion.
Well, certainly not a 10-year-old. But even I think I wouldn't point an 18 to 25-year-old in the same place I would point a 25 to 60-year-old. I think that would change my answer in a couple of ways. And so if you've seen the movies, the Lord of the Rings movies, but you haven't read any of the books, I would say read the Lord of the Rings books first. Just because you know names and you know the story, and while it is a much denser read than The Hobbit is, if you know the movie, that's an easier transition. But if you haven't seen the movie and you haven't read the books, I would say, for most people, I would say do The Hobbit first. I think it's hard to do The Hobbit second in books because it's so much different in tone. It's so much a young juvenile. It's so much more juvenile that if you've just read the book first, then you try to read that, it just feels too different.
Yeah, good answer. Well, are there divides in Tolkien fandom like there are in, I guess, essentially any fandom? Like, are there lines split? Like, is there like a snobby section of Tolkien fandom and a more casual side?
Yes, there definitely is. I will say that there's a definite divide in some places between liking the movies and liking the books, and you're not allowed to like both. And there's a snobbish side coming from the book people who look down their nose at the movies, especially the Hobbit movies, which I think are crap too, but I don't look down at my nose necessarily on people who like them. There is some merit to them, and there's things to like about them. They don't scratch my itches.
I'm on the same boat as you there, man. I like the movies, like the Lord of the Ring trilogy, even like the Fellowship.
Loved.
Was well done.
Loved. But yeah, so there's a divide there, and I'd say there's also divide, like people who've read the Silmarillion. They're in like the club, and so they can be some looking down on first timers, which just sucks because it's not an easy read, and it's not accessible. It's not the kind of thing you can just pick up and do easily. And so to ask people questions is helpful, and so that attitude I think sucks.
It is. I mean, that's gatekeeping, right?
Absolutely. And yeah, I get it. Like I get why some people want to feel special, but it's such a wonderful, amazing world. I just want to share it with other people. So I come from the other side of things.
Yeah, the enthusiast perspective. I mean, in-depth enthusiasm, but just jump in and enjoy it. You don't have to. Well, I guess we can answer it this way. What would Tolkien himself have wanted? Do we know that answer? Is that out there? Like, would he have cared that people study the text for what it is, or just read a book, stupid?
Well, if you really we want to spend a couple of minutes here, I'll go quickly. But Dave Donovan and I, who says hi, by the way, he did send me a text to tell you guys hello.
Hi, Dave.
Yeah, we were debating or talking about specifically this right an hour ago. And the idea, have you heard of Death of the Author? It's a literary concept based on a book by a French guy. Have you heard of that?
Vaguely, yeah.
Quickly, it's the idea that like the author's intentions are not that important. And books are meant to be read, not written. And so the reader's take is at least as important, if not more so, than the author's intentions.
Kind of like once you create something and put it out there, it's no longer really yours.
Right. And some people don't like that idea. And so when I told that, I suggested that to Dave. He said like, oh, yuck. I don't like the sound of that. And I think Tolkien would hate it. And I don't think Tolkien would hate it. I think Tolkien, he says something specifically about the idea that good secondary creation, good storytelling, should enable people to draw their own conclusions from their own life. It should be relatable. And so the authors may not intend for people to take and relate to certain things, but if it's real enough, then that will inevitably happen. And so I think he would be on board with people taking sort of their own interpretation of things.
Okay, that sounds fair enough. So he's okay. Like if whether you're a snob or a casual fan, he's probably okay with either side.
I think so. I mean, although I also know that he'd probably hate the movies. Well,
that was my next question.
Yeah, I would like to think that he's of the opinion that he would, in the least, like people to respect and is works enough to like understand them, take the time to understand them, and not just like breeze through them. Like you the way you talk about them, James, and what everything I've ever heard about the Silmarillion is just that it's heavy, heavy, heavy stuff. And even the Lord of the Rings for me, like the whole trilogy it's pretty like. It was kind of heavy reading for me. It wasn't exactly the first time I read it. It wasn't like, okay, like this is super easy. Like at points I was like, man, okay, I got to reread this page, man. Like,
well, and it's the language too, right?
That's it.
It's not language that we it's not written in modern vernacular, so that's a bit tough. But yeah, I think the reason I don't think J.R.R. would like it was because Christopher didn't like the movies, and you'd think his father would be at least as judgmental, or at least as old-fashioned or old school in his approach to storytelling. And if Christopher didn't like them, I don't think his dad would have.
I think that the very idea of trying to put all that on screen might have turned him off.
Yeah, that's
like,
probably
it wouldn't
part
shock
of it.
me if Tolkien didn't own a TV.
That wouldn't shock me at all. I just learned recently that like when he wrote the books, he tried not to use any words that any modern words, any words that originated after 1800, and preferably like he wanted older words, like 400, 500, 600 years old, like God. Words from the 1400s and before. Yeah, it's why in the original version of The Hobbit, he calls what the hobbits smoke tobacco, but tobacco is a pretty modern word. So in Lord of the Rings, which was written later, and even later editions of The Hobbit, some stuff was edited to pipe weed, which is just much older terminology.
Wow.
For the same thing. Yeah.
Interesting. There we go.
There you go.
Little side tangent of Tolkien talk. That's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
That's always fun for me. So yeah, we've got the Unexpected podcast coming out in January, and just stay tuned. I mean, we're going to have some fun talking about the Silmarillion, which is a pretty fun story if you take it in small doses.
Yeah, and well, you've got the Facebook page up and the Twitter account going, so I encourage everybody to go and follow along.
Step by step.
All right, so it's, again, like I said, it's a light news week, and like I said, I'm intentionally leaving some stuff out. For example, Daisy's interviews on Good Morning America, Live with Kelly and Ryan, the latest TV spots. I don't want to alienate anybody else. So, Bradley, you can feel free to stick around for the entire time. That is my intention this week. So I've got a few scattered thoughts that I just want to throw out there for discussion. But the first one is maybe slightly spoilery, but it takes place from within the trailer itself. So I think we've all seen that. So no need to run away. But I had a new thought on Leia and the Resistance. So I'm wondering, could she be presumed dead after the escape from Dakar? And could she have a heroic return for the crate scenes? And I ask that because we got a glimpse of Poe staring out from the cockpit of his X-Wing at a massive explosion. And I've lost track of all the EW stuff, but there was something that came out over the last couple days, specifically about Kylo's TIE silencer. Just one real quick quote. So Bradley, cover your ears for the next 15 seconds if you want. But the TIE silencer is a sleek new fighter designed for speed and destruction. And in one deep space battle, it will deliver a shot through the heart of the Resistance. That certainly seems to support the idea that Kylo will take out someone of significance. And we know about the reported injury to Leia. Is that where this is driving towards?
Kind of seems that way. Like, all signs since the beginning have really pointed toward Leia. We've talked about this many times. Like, since last year, there were reports of Leia kind of... The middle part of this film should be sitting on the sidelines for some reason. Let it be, like you just said, that's a new theory I haven't heard yet. Presumed dead. Very possible. What we've heard is that she somehow manages to save herself by using the Force, but that would be cool having her come back, but I don't know if that's so much the case. Just because she seems to be right back in the mix into the fold on Crate. But it is possible, like she could play an even bigger role in this film that we don't know about yet,
Yeah, well, that when those shots of Finn where he's wearing that biohexacrypt thing, I wonder if that like high collared gown that Leia's wearing is some sort of healing suit too. I would say no. She's
just styling.
Yeah, she's just styling. But she looks dark in this movie. Wow. Hard to say.
She's in mourning.
I like it. I like the idea of it, and it makes... we know, it's the kind of thing that as the storytellers... trying to anticipate what the audience is anticipating, and we know that she's gonna die in this movie, or at least we think we know. She's not going to be in the next one. So, if they do it more than once, like if they fake do it and they fake us out early, I could definitely see that. And then she's presumed dead for a period of time and make some sort of reappearance. That all makes a lot of sense, Kyle. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, another thing just to keep in mind when you think about Leia's character in this is, for us, we've had 2 years to deal with Han's death. Like, in this film, she's probably had could be a day, a minute, a week, at most, maybe.
Well, I mean, it's seamless, right? I mean, I think it all depends on how long they spend on Dakar, and how long that trip from Dakar to Acto took. There's some passage of time there. So yeah, I don't know. Is it days? Is it a couple weeks? No clue. But
whatever.
Yeah,
she's still grieving, Yeah.
She's clearly still in mourning. All right. So next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, another random thought. So you guys think back to April at Star Wars Celebration? We first saw that teaser trailer, and we heard Luke's voiceover saying to Rey, to reach out. What do you see? And Rey replies, light, dark, and the balance. You remember that, Corey?
How could I forget?
Now, I think it was in TV spot number 10.
Yeah, I've heard another version of it.
Yeah, the light, dark, and something else. What is up with that, Corey?
I don't know. It's just one of those misleads.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they didn't like all this balance talk. People like you saying they can't have the balance. They can't rehash the prophecy.
Good. Because the second version is much more interesting to me. Way more interesting to me.
Well, the something else one kind of just from what we've seen, with further on in that scene, it almost seems to me like she's going at it, or she sees Snoke or whatever Snoke is, whatever he represents in the Force.
Well, wouldn't he be the Dark?
I think.
Yeah, but no, not necessarily. Like what? I don't know. That scene where she's stuck there. Again, maybe that's not it. I hope it's bigger than that in a way. So, who knows, man?
I think if they're referring to the gray, which they might be, could be, maybe, likely are. I think if they're referring to the gray, something else works better than balance, because balance can be confused, like Corey said, with trilogy. So maybe it didn't test well, or it was too confusing, or by design they changed the words just to mislead us. But if she is talking about the gray, to say something else, I think is way less confusing to fans who have watched everything than to say the light, the dark, and the balance, which we sort of already know or have heard about the balance before, and we haven't heard about the something else, which could refer to the gray. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And that's why I find it so much more interesting. Because there's
mystery.
Yeah, and like balance, it's again, it's been done. I'd rather them.
I think they're still going to head down that. Like her having said that, I think they're still going to head down that path, but just changing of the words. That's something else she sees. It's elusive, whatever it is. It could still kind of mean that in the long run, but she's just really not able to describe it at first the way she did in the original trailer.
Possibly, but I found it interesting, and I had not seen much talk about the fact that there's two versions of that dialogue going around.
It's funny. I picked up on that as well.
Guys, you have to excuse me just for a sec. My youngest is screaming his head off. I'll be back.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
All right, so Corey, next thing here. The soundtrack for The Last Jedi drops in a couple weeks, the same day as the movie comes out. And I'm going to have instant access to it on Spotify. And I've struggled with this, even with Rogue One and with The Force Awakens. Do I listen before seeing the movie? Or will that give away too much of the vibe?
Yeah, you'd be a fool. You'd be an absolute fool, bro. You've waited 2 years. You're going to look at the titles, the names, the sequence, the chronology. Just wait one more day. You crack it open first thing in the morning, man.
That's going to be tough. It's going to be there. And I'm going to get an alert for it. I'll get to work. I'll break open my iPad. And it's going to say, the soundtrack for The Last Jedi is now available to listen. Then I have to swipe right and get rid of that alert.
Yeah, you gotta swipe right, bro. Just have some willpower, man. Seriously.
Well, that's what I've done the previous years. I have not listened or looked at the track titles until I've seen the movie. So
it's been 2 years, though. Honestly, come on. Do you really? Because you will gain insight. You will be able to glean something from that, man. Don't do it, man.
Oh yeah, I mean the TFA title tracks, they leaked well in advance of the movie, and we got a bunch. You could tell a whole bunch of stuff from the titles. Nothing, I mean, not specific, but you were able to get the bones of the movie. So anyway, yeah, probably skip it, though I don't guarantee it. So did you catch any of the global press event or anything at all over the last couple of days? Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did catch some stuff?
Oh yeah, I caught Daisy Ridley. Who is she with? I think she was with Fallon. I saw Boyega, and then I saw the whole cast and crew on Kimmel as well.
Yeah, I was absolutely shocked that there was no clip.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, eh? They must have ran out of time or whatever, but
no, I don't think they ran out of time. I don't think, because they would have been teasing it throughout the show. Stick around, we got a clip from The Last Jedi to show you guys, and that's always at the end of the show. I was stunned that they ended the show and they gave us nothing. I mean, I'm happy. I'm not upset about it, but
I didn't want any
really
more tidbits.
Surprised.
Yeah, nothing. If they would have just showed us another generic trailer, fine, whatever. Anyone who's there in that theater, or anyone probably watching, would have has already seen it, and I don't want to see anymore at this point. I'm good, man.
Yeah, I don't need to see any more either. Like if on Friday night watching Kimmel, if they had said here's an exclusive clip from Star Wars: The Last Jedi, I would have stood there and watched it. We'd be talking about it right now, I think. But no, they just ended the show. But it was still fun to see the cast and crew together.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some people really felt bad for Oscar Isaac. He didn't get to say all that much. No one really got all to say that much except for Hamill. Mostly Mark, Daisy. Everyone got to say a little tidbit there, but Adam Driver, very little. Oscar Isaac, very little.
Yeah, well, I mean, they brought out Mark Hamill and Daisy and Ryan Johnson first, right? And Adam Driver.
Yeah.
So they brought those four out first for the first segment, and then for the second half, they brought out everybody else. So Oscar Isaac and Laura Dern, Kelly Marie Tran, John Boyega, Andy Serkis. Is that all of them? Did I get everybody? Anyway, close enough, right?
Gwendolyn Christie.
Oh, right, of course. Gwendolyn Christie. So they brought all those people out. And yeah, not too many people got much in. Like, I thought John Boyega... I see John Boyega as a chatterbox, and he barely got anything in.
He's pretty charismatic. I liked him on Fallon. He was funny.
Yeah. There's nothing to not like about John Boyega. But did anything jump out at you?
Steel Wars.
Yeah.
Jason Ward. Congrats to them. I saw them right away.
In the crowd along with Jason Ward.
Yeah, I was kind of stoked about that. I'd seen them tweeting about stuff prior about being in the crowd, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I'll see them, And I saw them twice during the episode, so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Once the camera was right on them. And even Jimmy Kimmel kind of mentioned something about them too, like, yeah, that guy that hates your theory or whatever,
Yeah, he hates all Snoke theories. It's like, no way. Yeah, he was right there. Pretty cool stuff. So I guess for me the only interesting thing. So Kimmel said, "Come on, you got to give us something. What can you tell us about the movie?" Ryan Johnson's literally squirming in his seat to give us something, and so that he spoiled the first word spoken in the film. Should I repeat that here?
Yeah, it's nothing. He's like, because Jimmy Kimmel said, he's like, give us the first word. He's like, oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I mean it's nothing, right? You can't get anything out of
nothing.
That.
Not much.
So the first word spoken in The Last Jedi is "we're."
Yeah, as in we.
We are.
WE''RE.
Interesting stuff. But at a subsequent press event, an interviewer managed to get him to say the second word of the film.
Ooh.
Yeah. Should I drop that here?
Do it. I want to hear it. Is it here?
No. The second word from The Last Jedi is "not." I have no more words, everybody. If they're out there, I don't know, but I won't spoil them here. That's it. The Ryan Johnson Q&A earlier in the week, did you partake in that at all?
I didn't send him any questions, but I definitely saw that you had sent him one. I was kind of hoping he'd answer, but he didn't.
Well, I don't know that I don't know that he chooses the questions he wants to answer so much as a publicist says here. Yeah, I liked my question. I thought it was innocuous enough for him to answer it with a yes or a no.
Hey guys, sorry to. I'm back.
Everything under control?
I took care of. Well, no, my wife's got him in her arms, and I may have to duck out again. But while I was away, I managed to secure the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth words of the upcoming movie. In Kansas, anymore Toto.
Uh-oh. It's another remake.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys, but I am back now.
No problem. So I had submitted a question for Ryan Johnson's Q&A, and I hope one day somebody else asks him. Maybe I'll keep throwing it at him until he answers it, but I wanted to know from the guy, because he's been a filmmaker for a number of years, and he's been a Star Wars fan forever. I wonder if, in these dreams he must have had about making a Star Wars movie, whether he was 10 years old or 30 years old, whenever that first, I could do a Star Wars movie at some point in my life, whenever that first dream popped in his head, did anything from those dreams make its way into the movie that we're about to watch? That's all I wanted him to answer. That's a yes or no question.
The Vulptex.
Sure, whatever. A specific Star Destroyer with a giant cannon underneath. Maybe that is something he fantasized about forever. Who knows? But hopefully we get that answer someday. All right, so we got a glorified TV spot during the magical world of Disney. That 1 hour show, or 2 hour show. If you could stomach 2 hours of boy bands, good on you. Did you sit through that, Corey?
Nope.
I only tuned in towards the end. I wanted to make sure I caught it, but cool little, glorified TV spot. I think it was about 30 seconds. Again, we're not going to talk about it here, but yeah, we're in full effect now. It's going to be a whole lot of press stuff that we may or may not talk about here. Like I said, I don't want to alienate anybody. But what I do want to talk about next is this Rolling Stone cover story. Did you guys check this out?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so James, before you get pulled away, anything jump out at you?
I'm sorry that you're saying that, but I actually do have to run exactly this. I'll be back in 2 seconds,
Cool.
guys.
All right, Corey, over to you. Anything jump out at you about this? Specifically with Mark and Adam Driver, because I've got a couple things on Daisy Ridley's part.
Okay. Well, I like that Adam Driver was kind of weary of the character and the role at first. And J.J. Abrams kind of convinced him and said, like, this is a great role. Like, this is what we want to do. Kind of like, it's very complex, very great acting role. That pitch kind of got him on board, because at first he was, again, very weary of taking on the role and being in a Star Wars film. But it seems like he's happy with it. And again, his rapport with Rian Johnson and how confident and easygoing Rian Johnson was made it easier for him. And again, also how he said that working with Daisy Ridley was pretty special.
How could it not be?
Well, what about and Mark Hamill? I thought it was interesting that he couldn't think about the magnitude of the role, like what exactly was going on, what they were doing, what they were trying to accomplish there. Because he said if he had, it would have like overwhelmed him and stressed him out. So it's in his mind, he kind of almost had to think of the project as like an indie art house project in a way, just to get his mind off of the saga, so to speak. Like he didn't want to think about it, man. Like he just wanted to perform and not have that burden.
Well, yeah, he said a lot of times now that he wasn't sure at the beginning when they first discussed the idea, or first presented it to him, that we're bringing Star Wars back and we need you back. He wasn't on board at first.
Yeah, he said all of us. One of his conditions was Harrison, Carrie, and himself had to be there. Yeah,
which is wow. It was close. Once I think it was Harrison. Once he said Harrison was in, he said that done. I'm back. All right, so I thought that Daisy did offer up a couple things that I think are worth talking about. Did you know, Corey, that Daisy Ridley was in Montreal?
I did not. I didn't hear anything about it.
No, I knew nothing about this. I feel like our city's been blessed, and we didn't even know. She was here for 3 months, man. I kind of went off a little bit with Tim talking about this the other day. 3 months she was here in Montreal shooting a movie. And Tom Holland was here as well. He's nothing short of a treasure himself. How did we not know this?
Yeah, it's kind of odd. I didn't see it in any of the papers. Nothing on the internet about it. Very odd.
Well, yeah, I guess we don't read the French language gossip rags, because I'm sure something must have been in there. Anyway, there's a quote about Rey's parentage. I'll read that quote. Unlike almost everyone else in the world, Ridley has known for years who Rey's parents are, since Abrams told her on the set of The Force Awakens. Ridley believes that nothing ever changed. She said, I thought what I was told in the beginning is what it is, which is odd because Johnson insists He had free rein to come up with any answer he wanted to the question. I wasn't given any directive as to what that had to be, he says. I was never given the information that she is this or she is that. The idea that Johnson and Abrams somehow landed on the same answer does seem to suggest that Rey's parents aren't some random, never-before-seen characters. All that said, Abrams cryptically hints there may have been more coordination between him and Johnson than the latter director has let on. So who knows what's going on here? They may be messing with us to preserve one of Abrams' mystery or precious mystery boxes. So, Corey, for all the great things Rian Johnson has said and done, I think he goes out of his way a bit too much in saying that he had full autonomy and that nothing was dictated to him. And I'm not saying he's lying or that he was mandated to do this, that, or the other. But I think it's pretty clear that he and Abrams have a shared vision and that they have been sharing crib notes and working together maybe a bit more than what he's let on. Like there is a shared vision here, right?
I would think so. I don't think Disney's that willing to take... I've said this for a long time. I don't think Disney's willing to take the risk. Lucasfilm, whatever, willing to take that risk with this franchise. Like, they have to have a game plan. They couldn't have just gone haphazardly into it saying, okay, I'm going to run with it director by director. Like, I'm sure there's some kind of loose storyline they're following here. And, JJ's Mystery Box is something I'm really interested in. So... the more coordination, the better for me, anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it goes up as high as like the head of Lucasfilm, and definitely not up to Disney. But I think from a creative standpoint, when you know you're going to be doing this trilogy, taking the baton from somebody else, you're going to talk to that person to see where their head was at. You're going to want to talk to that person to give me some insight on this character, that character, and it only makes sense that you're taking this character's story next and pushing it forward. You don't want to just take a left turn because it suits you. It's got to make sense to what was laid out before. So yeah,
exactly. And it has to make sense for what's going to be played out in the future as well. You can't just like write someone into a corner, kind of,
Of course. So yeah, again, I'm not calling Rian Johnson a liar. I just think that he's not as... I don't want to get myself into trouble. I think there is a direction. They are working with a compass as a group, and
I'll call him a liar.
Okay, that's Tommy Bombadil.
He was lying. He was lying, and there's nothing wrong with that. They have to lie sometimes. There's nothing wrong with lying to mislead us, and if he said exactly everything he knew, where would the suspense be? Yeah, I can make her parents anyone. And so that led us to talk about how maybe her parents are unknown characters. Maybe that I think it's his job to lie sometimes.
Here's another passage that got fandom all kind of lathered up. So as far as Ridley is concerned, the future of Rey is pretty much set. She doesn't want to play the character after the next movie. No, she says flatly. For me, I didn't really know what I was signing on to. I hadn't read the script, but from what I could tell, it was really nice people involved, so I was just like, awesome. Now I think I am even luckier than I knew then to be part of something that feels so like coming home now. But doesn't that sound like a yes? No, she says again, smiling. No. I am really, really excited to do the third thing and round it out, because ultimately, what I was signing on to was 3 films. So in my head, it's 3 films. I think it will feel right time to round it out. They went on to ask her about...
Oh, she's good. Her agents told her exactly what to say.
Yeah.
That's...
And then they asked her about coming back in 30 years, which... Come on. Like, she's not even 30 herself. Don't ask her what she wants to do 30 years from now. But this, I didn't trust the quote when I first read it. It just didn't sound right to me. And I went back and forth in the TSW VIP group. I was speaking with Nathan, and neither of us really put a lot of stock into it. And, as it turns out, rightfully so, because today, days later, Daisy cleared it up with this quote to the BBC. And she said, when I did sign up for 3 films, and that's where I sort of saw the story ending, she said. I think everyone has perhaps taken that as me going, I don't want anything to do with it, which is vastly untrue, because this is awesome. And she doesn't outright name Rolling Stone, but this quote dropping at this time, just a few days after that Rolling Stone story, pretty clear to me what she's talking about. I think the Rolling Stone story was doctored, edited to elicit a certain reaction that Ray's never coming back. And of course, we saw the articles flying all over the place. She's done. She's out.
That would also mean the end of this saga. No 10, 11, 12 either. That's kind of big news.
Yeah, I mean,
well, not necessarily. She could die.
Yes, she could. Yeah.
then it becomes Kylo and Luke. Like if she dies, like
Luke.
Uncle Luke.
Uncle.
Oh.
Anyway, like for me, all it ever meant was that she's not getting ahead of herself. That was my first interpretation of that quote. And I'm seeing people reacting out there going, "Oh, she's not coming back. She's just not getting ahead of herself. She knows she signed on for 3 movies. She's got to do the press for the second one. Then she's going to do a third one. Like, maybe it's a bit much Star Wars for her to process right now. Like, let's just let her deal with this before we start throwing another trilogy or another movie at her at some point." Like,
I am so much more cynical than you. I see it as her saying, I'm under contract to do 3 movies, and I'm happily doing those 3 movies. And I don't want to say that I'd be excited to do more, because that might hurt me in my negotiations of contract for the next movie. So I'll say, in my head, this ends in 3 movies, and we'll see where it goes from there.
100%.
And then a few days later, she just to make it clear to the fandom who's panicking, she says, "I'm not saying the ride's over for me. I'm just saying I'm not under contract after the 3rd movie."
That's all it is. That is all it is
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't give up leverage. I mean, she's not making a ton of money on these movies. I think I think the report is that she made $350K for The Force Awakens. I'm sure that's gone up for The Last Jedi.
We're not scoffing at $350K, but at some point she's also going to want to be bankable if they keep writing more lines for her character, right?
Yeah. it's I don't know. She's playing hard to get, maybe a little bit, which go for it, Daisy.
Yep, because she's not playing hard to want very well.
No, anybody wants Daisy Ridley right now, but
yep.
it all brings back like the idea that these articles, they're all edited within an inch of their lives, an inch of their credibility. Think back earlier this year when GQ interviewed Adam Driver, and quotes were massaged again to fit the clickbaity headline that Rey is a princess. You remember that from a couple months ago?
I do.
Like, it was BS. And I felt it was BS at the time, and it turned out, yeah, it was, because Adam Driver came out a couple days later and said, or actually, no, when you read when you read the full thing, it became clear that he wasn't talking about Rey. He was referencing another piece of fiction in regards to the princess. So I was like, come on, guys. Like, can you stop editing these things just to be intentionally misleading? It's ridiculous. Anyway, so specifically in this Rolling Stone piece, we never got to see the question that was actually put to her, which is a huge red flag.
I apologize if you did. You can just say yes and move on. But did you guys talk about how in the article, Driver says Kylo's younger than himself?
I don't know why he was so cagey about that. The answer to how old he is already out there. Kylo's about 30, 32 or something like that.
He doesn't want to be held accountable.
He says, I don't want to. Well, I thought it interesting. He said, I don't want to say how much younger because it might give stuff away, and that just leads me to believe that there's something about his age that's I don't know.
I just think he doesn't want to be held under the microscope when some fanboy's just like, but Adam Driver stated this, and the other, and which means this, and that. He's just like,
I mean, his birth is covered. Vague. We read about his birth in the Aftermath books. He's born in those books. We know where that is on the timeline. We know where TFA is on the timeline. There's no mystery about how old he is. I think that just points to he doesn't follow all the online chatter among fandom.
For sure he doesn't. But he does think that by giving the age away, he may be giving away his character's origin or Rey's origin or something. And so there's something to that we'll look back later and go like, oh, that's why his age was important.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I thought that was weird, but it's not the first time he has said something and been like, dude, we already know. Like, it's okay. Yeah, I just get so frustrated with these. It's one thing if, like, a fan enthusiast site makes things clickbaity, but for GQ and Rolling Stone to do it, like, piss off. You know what I mean? Like, it's just garbage. All right.
Yeah. Call it the Fox News effect.
I guess I don't know what effect it is. I guess that's, for lack of a better word, that's what it is. But it's so frustrating. All right, so next, our homeboy Denis Villeneuve wants to direct a standalone movie, or does he? What does the quote say here? So, I mean, this guy is hot right now, man. With Blade Runner 2049 being the latest, a lot of fans feel it's a great idea, and I think in theory it is. But let's just check out this quote. It's something that, again, it's like, I would be intrigued. I don't know. It's very difficult. What is dangerous with Star Wars right now is it's become its own vocabulary. I'd love to see them. I think Rogue One was a very interesting attempt to get out of the mold. I think it would be a great idea to get out of there and go on a new part of the galaxy. That I would be open to. So he was on this podcast, the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, where he said this. And I should have found that clip and just listened to how he said it. And maybe I should have given him a little Quebecois accent there. But again, what I take out of this is that he's not super interested if he has to stick to the Star Wars formula, which seems to be a non-negotiable at this point.
I was going to say, it sounds like he wants to get fired from Star Wars. That's what it sounds like.
Absolutely.
Well, I think if Lucasfilm, Disney were ever going to take the risk on someone, his background, like Blade Runner 2049 was a masterpiece, man. Like, I can't.
Lego movies are huge.
Yeah, but it's just a different genre, really. Like, come on, Sicario, Arrival. He's going to be taking care of Dune, forthcoming. Like, those are epic kind of things.
Not out yet.
But it's clear that Lucasfilm is not ready to take a risk yet. It's clear as day.
That's fine, but if they do, like, again, like he had mentioned, Rogue One was an attempt to kind of break the mold and get out of that pattern in a way.
Well, yeah, and
it was an honest attempt.
I think a key word is attempt.
And it did well. I mean, we loved it, right?
We did. Did he? Or does he see it as just a run-of-the-mill Star Wars movie?
Well, he said it was a good attempt, kind of. He would like to have that option and probably take it a step further. Like, he wants a bit more, like you said, freedom, a bit more of a blank canvas. And,
those things don't seem to go within the same vocabulary as the execs.
They don't, but I still see this guy being a good fit. And, if Lucasfilm were ever to take a chance, I think this guy would be the right guy to explore other avenues within the galaxy,
In theory, yes. In theory, I think we would all love to see a Denis Villeneuve Star Wars movie. Like, selfishly, as a hometown guy, of course. I mean, that would bring Star Wars right into our backyard in a way that's probably never happened. But I think in actual practice, this could never happen. I think he's too strong a personality, too strong a style to ever say, okay, if you file away his edges and his flair, you're not getting a Denis Villeneuve movie. You're getting a Star Wars movie that just happened to have him there. And I don't think anybody really wants that.
That's true too, but who knows? I mean, he's still relatively young, so both Lucasfilm and Disney, they're maturing. He's going to be mature as a director, and maybe they hopefully can meet in the future, because we know the not so distant future is somewhat planned for the most part.
It is. I don't know. I just don't see that as being a good match. Do you, James? Or do you think it's something that's not going to happen?
I think from what we've learned in the last few years, it's just a terrible fit. They are not looking for outside of the box. They're not looking for lone wolf. They're looking for yes men who take direction well. And I'm not saying that there's no creative process involved, but they've shown pretty clearly that they want to have input, and it doesn't sound to me like he wants to be working with someone else's ideas.
Yeah,
I don't know, because Rian Johnson's. I don't think Rian Johnson was maybe as hard. Like, I'm not gonna say like like I said, strong-willed, independent. But at least Rian Johnson, he wrote this movie, and basically they gave him the keys, they gave him free reign, and what he produced, they loved. So,
well, because he understood the rules that he was working with. You can write whatever you want, and this is what never gets said. You can do whatever you want as long as this, and that. And I'm not saying you can do whatever you want as long as Rey survives and there are new X-Wings to sell. I don't mean that. I mean, as long as you hit this tone.
A standalone would give him the option to play outside the box.
I don't think it would. We've already seen two directors, or we saw Gareth Edwards in Deep Trouble. Hence why he called it sort of a what did he call it? A interesting attempt. That's another way of saying nice try to get out of the mold. And we know what happened with Lord and Miller. This is all very well documented. I think he would go set forth doing a Denis Villeneuve movie, and they go, no, this needs to be a little bit more Star Warsy. I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
Ben là, tabarnak.
I'm out.
Yeah. Trade me right bleeping now.
Who owns the chief?
We know it. I'm pretty confident in saying that if he came on board, it would not end well. And I don't even think they would hire him because I think they know that by now. Anyway, speaking of Rian Johnson, he made another statement about his own upcoming trilogy, which maybe clarifies some things. So last week we talked about, oh man, did he, like, whose idea was this? Did Disney beg Rian to do it because they don't want to deal with standalones, or did Rian pitch them something? So this kind of clears it up. We all just had a really good time working together, Johnson said of why he thinks he was tasked with continuing the Star Wars legacy in this major way. I know for us, that was a big part of it. We were getting to the end of it, and Kathy Kennedy and Bob Iger and Alan Horn, Alan Berkman, and all the folks at Disney, we were just sad that this was coming to an end. We were like, how do we figure out some way to keep working together? That's when I pitched the idea of a new trilogy with a new story. That seemed really exciting for me. So is it that simple?
I don't like the language. I find that language vague. What did he pitch? Did he say, I should direct a new trilogy? Is that what he means? Or did he pitch an actual idea for a new trilogy? And I don't think the language is perfectly clear.
It's not. No. Well, this is what we said last week, right? We thought that in time they will throw out whatever they want the story to be. And this could be it, right? Like, James, you're perfectly bang on. Like, this might clear it up, but this could also be, this is the bare minimum that you could throw out there that will throw the flames out. It is so vague. Like, he could have just said, I know how we can keep working together. Give me new movies to do. That's
exactly what it
like my
sounds like.
7-year-old can answer that question.
Well, let's just go back to the beginning here for a second. Like, to me, it's still so incredible. It's like, for a franchise like Star Wars, months aren't that long, kind of, like they could have waited, but they had decided to announce that he's doing this trilogy before the film that he's even done has come out. Like, that to me is still mind-blowing. No?
I don't know.
It's just mind-blowing,
but
man.
It is a bit surprising in that you're right. They
announced
it. They'd be
they
rushing decisions, and this seems a bit rushed. But they obviously have a plan, or you'd think, or you hope they have a plan.
Well, they just enjoyed working with him so much. That's what it was such a relationship. Like, they were so enamored with one another that I almost do see it like that. Like, him kind of almost telling them, like, they're like, oh, we don't want this relationship to end. Like, what can we do? And if he's
this
actually
is like
saying
the
this on
equivalent
paper,
of giving your new girlfriend the keys to your place because you had a good weekend together.
Yeah, kind of. Like,
That's
it's kind
dangerous.
It's dangerous, but I mean, if he told him straight up, like, dude, I think he knows the responsibility that at hand. Like, he must be kind of stressing. But
it's not
like,
the girlfriend with the keys who's usually worried.
Even Adam Driver
or a
was
boyfriend
saying,
with the keys to the new place. It's the people with the place with all to lose. I'm saying it's risky for Disney to say, here's, let's do a trilogy unless he did actually pitch an idea, which is, I guess, the root of this discussion. if there's an idea that they bought into, I like it a whole lot more than if they just fell in love with him, because relationships can change depending on what his ideas are that he comes up with next.
Yeah,
and they may not like him so much.
If he's the one who brought it up, I would think he might have had something in mind, maybe.
I hope so.
Even if not, though, like if he was confident enough to say, like, hey, you know, like I don't really have anything coming into this movie, and I made it work. If you guys like that, like I'm sure I got plenty in the tank. I'm still super inspired. Whatever it is, like I'll get it done. And they were kind of like on board with that, but it's a little hard to believe.
He was when he was hired on for The Last Jedi, it's not like he just came in cold and said, "Oh, we like what you do. You're hired." Like he had to pitch his take on what Episode 8 would be, and they bought into it. But like James said, like this is a whole lot more appealing if he said, "Guys, like I have this story kicking around. I wrote maybe a skeleton trilogy here on off days while working on The Last Jedi. What do you guys think of ABC here?" And they said, "Well, okay, let's talk about this." And you know, they talked for a little while, and all right, Ryan, we're confident in this idea. Let's go forward.
That kind of makes sense. Like you guys said, like it can't be like him just being like, "Oh, I'll do another one," and they're like, "Yeah, great, you were great. Like, let's do it." Like I'm sure, like he seems so passionate, and he's got gas left in the tank. He must have presented some kind of really rough outline, like, you know, this is what I kind of was thinking. What do you guys think? And it's got to be like that.
It has to be. It can't be like, "Guys, why don't we just do more movies together? This was so much fun. Yeah, let's do that."
How about 3 more? You'll do 3 more. How about
Let's
that?
write the press release.
Yeah.
Send it out.
The first new saga ever. Here are the keys. Let's have fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, the language used is, it's got to be intentionally vague, but it's frustratingly vague.
That's okay.
It really
like it's so far away from now. He's a little cherub angel, that guy. Look at him. Like I can't believe he's 44 years old. Just on Kimmel, like he just looks like this happy-go-lucky kid, like with a, like I don't know, with these rosy cheeks, man. He's so calm. That's
like
one thing. Adam Driver.
He seems like
Adam
someone
Driver
who's in full possession of his faculties and his skills, and yeah, he just seems.
Yeah, he's
he seems
totally confident.
Confident in what he's doing.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like Adam Driver was saying, like how stressful and how, you know, overwhelming it must be for someone like him. But he seems that Ryan is just living in the moment and taking it all in stride and super confident, which rubs off on the rest of the cast and crew.
Sure. All right. So anyway, I'm a little bit more relieved. At least they had the sense to put that quote out there, and I will put a certain measure of faith in it that this is Ryan's idea. He did sell them something, and they bought into it rather than it's just, "Please, Ryan, do something." All right. I feel like we've been a little bit grumpy during this quasi news segment, so let's take a little break. Refresh, and we'll come back with the Binary Sunset. We've got a few questions to kick around, and hopefully we'll bring some holiday cheer to the table.
Yeah, hopefully.
Don't look at me. All right,
dude, you got 3 minutes. You got 5 minutes to come up with something here.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Ads. He's gonna leave you high and dry, Ads. I knew it. I told you, Kigo.
Evening, boys. We're almost there. We're now in December. A matter of days. And we get to watch the next Star Wars film. I am super excited about it. Really can't wait. But you're going to, no doubt, be talking pretty much all about The Last Jedi in this pod. So I thought, what else is happening in December? And that's right, it's Christmas. So my question this week is a little bit Christmassy. I'd like you to adapt any Christmas song of your choice and give it a little Star Wars gold dust. A makeover from the galaxy far, far away. And then I'd like you both to perform it. Let's see what your vocals are like. Now, it wouldn't be fair if I asked you to do that without having to think about it myself. So, here's my contribution. On the 12th day of Christmas, Lord Vader sent to me 12 droids are battling, 11 Wookiees wailing, 10 clones are guarding, 9 troopers shooting, 8 AT-ATs walking, 7 TIEs are fighting, 6 Sith are training, 5 astromechs, 4 Imperial Guards, 3 bounty hunters, 2 Death Stars, and a new Star Wars film in 10 days. So there you go. I've embarrassed myself. Over to you now. Have a good show. Bye.
All right, there goes ads. Thank you, sir. Bringing a little bit of holiday cheer to the table. So, guys, how did you guys go about this?
I kind of panicked at first when I first saw the question. I was like, oh my God. And even now, it's like, I don't think I've drank enough to really, and I can't really belt them out either. I got family sleeping in here and whatnot. But I was definitely kind of worried. I don't know. I looked through a list of holiday songs and just kind of said, what goes with this, And I don't know. The first one I tackled, none of them are really holiday related now at this point. I just kind of took themes and played with words, and
none of them are holiday related.
Loophole number
there's
one.
One of them's holiday related, I guess, but the other ones are just Star Wars with holiday songs.
Oh, I sort of see what you mean. Maybe mine fits that category too. Let me go first and see if I'm right.
Okay, go for it. Let's hear this.
Okay. My first one is a remake of the classic "I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus." The Star Wars version is "I Saw Leia Kissing Luke and Han." It's just the title. I didn't rewrite the whole song. I'm just going for laughs. So I saw it. It fits at least with the amount of syllables, and it brings up a somewhat regrettable Star Wars moment that we can laugh at.
Yep. All you can do is point and laugh at that moment, and it is one of the craziest eccentricities about Star Wars that, oddly enough, a lot of people go to bat for it. Like I'm sure Corey could find a way to excuse it.
Yeah, it's kind of just poor writing, but at the same time, they didn't know.
Yeah,
what can you say?
They didn't know.
Like, really, I just kind of feel bad for Luke in that situation. He was just he was in the friend zone, just being used. Like, how you like this, Han? Watch me kiss my brother. You like that, Han?
You like that? Take that. I don't want to spend too much time going back here, but just minutes ago we were saying, like, of course he knows who so-and-so is because they must have a plan for the whole trilogy. That's the only way you can do it. And now we're laughing at the fact they just didn't know that they were brother and sister.
Oh, that's blatant throughout the, the OT, the PT.
Absolutely.
Like, all of it.
Absolutely.
It's
Well, because
written as you go, kind of.
He didn't know how much rope he was going to get. It all depended on one movie depended on the success of the other, the one that came before it. We know we're getting from the moment they announced TFA, they also announced 8 and 9. They already know. They don't have to wait to see how it's going to do. It's just, here we go, trilogy. All right, Corey, let's go for some more laughs here. What do you got?
All right, like I said, like mine aren't exactly. They might not be that cheerful, but all right, here we go. Hark the herald, Anakin cried, I hate you all, for you have lied. Chosen one, prophecy and balance brought. Maker and Sith lords, what evil they wrought. That's all I got for that one.
That's lovely. That warms.
You like that one,
warms the cockles of my heart.
I have to say, you have the voice of nicely sung.
Yeah, you think? I was kind of. I'm not enough beers in yet, man. I'm only about 1,200 milliliters. So I don't know.
You have got to be the only person who refers to how much beer they've consumed in milliliters.
I like it like that,
Why?
Give me a liter.
It sounds like so much more. I've had 1,000 milliliters.
Why stop there?
1,000.
What's the next unit of measure to say you've had 12,000?
Nah, I couldn't get there.
Do you have any others?
I do. All right, some of them are gonna be pretty. Oh man, I haven't practiced these enough. They're pretty bad. All right. Okay, guys. Dashing through hot snow in a one tauntaun open sleigh, over Wampa caves we go, screaming all the way. Bells at echo base ring, making spirits fright. The Battle of Hoth was epic, so we sing this in their honor tonight. Oh hot snow, on hot snow we go.
Well, look at this. We got a little songsmith here.
Yeah, you like?
A little jingle
I
guy.
think that's just terrific. Wow, well done, sir.
Yeah, I'm doing it, man.
You're
I'm
living
manning
it for
up
real.
here, man.
I almost rewrote like Jingle Bells, Jabba smells, Boba laid an egg, but I didn't even get any further than that. So I just take my hat off to you,
Yeah,
sir.
the furthest
Dude, I was
got,
going
the furthest I got.
I was going
along
with
that
that
same
one, too.
vein was like Rebel sells, the Death Star fell, and Darth Vader got away. That's it. That's as far as I
Yeah,
got.
that's pretty good. Now you gotta sing it. Ads manned up. Ads sang it for us, bro. Like, Ad said, I'm gonna embarrass myself. I want you guys to embarrass yourselves. I'm just giving our powerful friends what they want.
But they got double with you, is what I'm saying. Like,
Triple. I got another one here if you want.
Corey, you're the MVP today, man.
All right, let's do this. It's gonna be called. This one's called. Well, let's name the first one. The first one was called "The Herald Anakin." The second was "Dashing Through Hoth Snow," and this one's gonna be called "Tondoff," the red-nosed tauntaun. So this one goes, "Tondoff, the red-nosed tauntaun, has a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows like a lightsaber. All of the other tauntauns used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Tondoff join in any tauntaun games. Then one fateful day on Hoth, the Empire came to slay. Tondoff with your nose so bright, please take us away from this fight." Then all the tauntauns loved him as they shouted out and bragged, "Tondoff, the red-nosed tauntaun, you won't become a sleeping bag. You won't become a sleeping bag."
Oh, this is amazing.
Because he gets slept in. That's just
Now,
great.
I want to know now who Corey put up to write this for him. You just write,
Dude,
you
man,
just
this
write
is
it
all
for
like-
me and I'll sing it, man.
Bro, that's insulting. How dare you disrespect my artistic integrity here? Like, this was all written like boom, 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 right off the spur of the moment, man.
You missed your calling.
Yeah, you like?
Those were
Yeah, it was
those were
great.
well done. I can't follow those up. I cannot. Even if I had like I mentioned to you guys, like I got the question from ads dinner time yesterday, or right in the middle of prepping dinner. I had family over. It was pretty nutty here, and today I wasn't at home very much at all. And yeah, I mean, I just didn't have time to sit down and really think about this. But Corey, man, that's impressive.
I was pretty impressed with myself, to be honest. Like, honestly, like, I really got down to writing them. Like I said, I had at 5 o'clock, I saw the message today. Like, this is about 4 hours before showtime. And luckily, my wife was kind of out of the house for a bit. And the first one I came up with was Hark the Herald Angels. And that reminded me of Anakin. So that one kind of flowed right off the bat. And then I was like, Jingle Bells. You got to be able to do something with Jingle Bells. And Hoth, snow came to mind. And the tauntaun thing as well. Hoth, snow.
Well done.
Oh, I just thought of a new one. Guys.
Yes, I knew it. James, don't let me down.
It's that simple. You're a mean one, Mr. Sith. Not bad.
I like it.
That's terrific.
Ads, by the way, is distracted probably because of me and my keeping him up late and hounding him with Tolkien stuff. So sorry, guys. My bad.
Oh man, I kind of soiled the sheets on this one. So ads, I apologize. Corey picked us up though, which is nice. James had a couple contributions.
You did very well. I just really half-assed it. I only looked at this like even less time than Corey did. So well done, Corey.
Yeah, thanks, bro. And you too, Kyle. I really had a feeling when I knew it came to singing, I was like, Kyle's gonna whiff. He's gonna whiff.
If I could write something, I would have gone for something. But also, it also bears mentioning that you said you needed the beer to get to that state. So,
it just helps.
Okay. Ads. Thank you, sir. That was. I wish I had more fun with it. Maybe one day I will.
That's a perfect question too.
I'm going to come back. I'm going to write the rest of Mr. Sith. There's a whole bunch in there.
Yeah, there might be something there for the Sithmas special.
I'm going to come back to that, Ads.
But just having frozen my butt off today, hanging up Christmas lights outside the house, all over the place. You know, the tree was done this week as well. Like it's on. It's on now. This put me more in the spirit.
Your halls are decked?
Hells yeah.
Hells bells. Nice.
All right, Ads. We'll talk to you next week, sir. And we also have another message from Bradley from down south. So let's check that out and come back and kick those.
Hello, Kyle and Corey. Hope y'all are having a good day, and hopefully you have had a great week. Bradley here with some Star Wars questions. Before I get into the questions, I just want to say, as I'm recording this, we are about 12 days away, and I'm just starting to get super excited. Not only for the movie, but to end this kind of lockdown, if you will, on all things Star Wars. This is just harder than I thought. I mean, every day it seems like there's a new TV spot or something that pops up. I've got people at work that come up to me every day and, say this, say that, all in good fun, but they know what I'm doing and they're teasing me. I've even got my wife, saying, "Oh, I saw something, yesterday and it was really cool, and but I can't tell you about it." And so I'm getting kind of teased in a sense, but it's all good. It's all in fun, and so it's almost over with. So I'm looking forward to that ending. My first question is, and this kind of applies to what y'all have done in the past when The Force Awakens came out and Rogue One. What did y'all do as far as shows right after the movie? After opening night, did y'all drop a podcast? Shortly after, giving your reactions of the movie, or was it something where you just kind of stayed on schedule and it was just you talked about the movie on your next scheduled podcast that was going to come out? What's on y'all's agenda? How do y'all do this? And how are you going to do it this year? Going along with seeing each one of these movies, one of the parts that I enjoy the most about the experience is after you've seen the movie, getting together and just talking about what you just saw. And I've never done this, but I'm going to do it this year. I'm actually going to record that conversation, and that way, just so personally I have it for myself. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to send that into you and let y'all have a listen, and maybe that's something that others on the podcast could do as well. I think it'd be kind of neat to hear everyone's immediate reaction of what they thought of the movie, moments after it happens. I think that would be kind of cool to hear that. So that's a suggestion. But anyway, let me get to my my first question, or actually it would be my second technically. How many times do you plan on seeing The Last Jedi? And I guess you could go. Another part of that question would be, how many times did you see The Force Awakens in the theater? How many times did you see Rogue One in the theater? And how many times do you think you're going to see The Last Jedi in the theater? I think, so mine, The Force Awakens, I saw it 7 times in the theater, 3 times kind of in a row. So I saw it opening night, that Friday, and then I think I saw it Saturday, and then I saw it like another 4 times over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then Rogue One, I saw it back-to-back days, and then I think I saw it, I took my mom to see it one other time, so I think I saw Rogue One 3 times in the theater. If it's just as good as The Force Awakens, which I'm not doubting that it will be, I'll probably see it at least 7 times in the theater, if not more. But kind of curious what y'all's numbers were. If y'all are one of those that who goes to see movies, a ridiculous amount of time when you really love the movie. My second or my third question is, what character, if you got to be in a movie, if you got to be cast in a movie, and it was kind of like a background character, no one significant, you might not even have any words or any lines. If you did, they'd be real short, but nothing too glamorous. What side would you rather be on? Would you like to be, an extra as a rebel, or would you, or the First Order? Which would you prefer? My answer to that would be, I think I would want to be on the rebellion side. I've kind of always been fascinated with flying, and especially flying an X-Wing. I thought that would be cool. When we got to see the behind the scenes of Rogue One and the excitement and the thrill on the actor's face when they were sitting in the makeshift cockpit and everything, I think that's what I would be. That would be my reaction as well. I would be really giddy as all get out to get to do that, and so I think that would be cool to see myself as a pilot on the screen. So that's my answer, and looking forward to hearing y'all's. Also, my friend Jordan, he's got a theory on who Snoke is. He thinks it's Cassian and Jyn. He thinks the chemical reaction from the Death Star exploding on the planet melded them together and made them one person, and that person is Snoke. So that's his crazy theory. I think he's ridiculous, but I think he's also just kind of starting to get delirious because the movie is getting so close. I can see a change in his behavior and demeanor, and it's Star Wars sickness. It's Star Wars fever for sure, and I'm looking forward to having it with him and in watching the movie with him. So that's all I have for this week. Sorry I rambled on, but as always, have a good show, and may the Force be with you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, Bradley, thank you, sir. A lot of questions to answer here, but not necessarily lengthy replies. So what did we do here on the podcast after seeing TFA and Rogue One? It was, it's kind of a boring answer, but it was pretty much business as usual. Like, we stuck to the schedule. We saw the movies. That's one of the remarkable things about our show, if there's anything remarkable about it, that we've been consistent from day one recording on Sundays. Aside from the odd hiccup here and there where we've lost a show for technical reasons, otherwise it's been Sunday night since episode 1. So yeah, we'd see opening night Thursday, we'd go see TFA Rogue One, talk about it throughout the weekend, And Sunday we would record our thoughts. That was really it.
Wrong.
Okay.
No, honestly, I wasn't even a part of the podcast at that point, really. You had started the podcast maybe, I think, a week prior to The Force Awakens dropping.
Yeah.
So I can't remember the dude that started with you.
Roberto.
Roberto. Then James joined on, and then I think me and you primarily. I think I did episode 6 and 10 primarily for Rebels, and then yeah.
Then you badgered your way in full time.
No, I honestly thought I really think it was because like Corey's such a drunk. He's so unreliable. Like I can't count on
Two
him to
totally
be here every
unfounded
Sunday.
thoughts.
Either way, I've been here every Sunday. I'm the Cal Ripken of podcasting right now. But either way,
Kyle's got a better record than you. Kyle only missed one.
I've never missed any.
That's not true.
I've never missed a tumbling saber.
Yep, I remember one time you were supposed to join us, and we tried to. You just
no.
weren't
That was a special for Carrie
you weren't
Fisher.
there.
Yeah, that was a special. That was
that
was special.
Was it?
I was verklempt.
Or was it episode something a tribute to Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, that was the spur of the moment one that wasn't planned on a Sunday.
Do I have to Google my own show?
We always record Sunday.
No, that was like a spur of the moment thing, like kind of like what happened with Gord Downey, where it's like, guys, we got to record something now. Steve was in on it, and I was like, guys, I can't make it. I'm sorry.
Hey guys, there's
That's
a
'cause I was
mosquito
off
in my
the corner
house.
crying.
It's unbelievable. There's a mosquito that just flying past my face.
It's snowing.
It's ridiculous.
But no, I do remember it was the same protocol in the long run. TFA, we had the nice dinner. It was beautiful. It was actually one of the first times I'd met James prior, but we weren't really like we're kind of like head nod dudes. And like from that point on, it was like we were brothers, man.
Yeah, how can we get back there to the head nod thing?
That's not cool, man. But honestly, like it brought us closer together, and you and I too, Kyle. I honestly feel like it did bring us closer together.
It was the start of a beautiful friendship, Corey. I'll say that, like, definitely. We like from not hanging out at all. I talk to you via text and message more than most of my friends now. So,
it's so incredibly true, man. I said the same thing to my wife the other day. You know, incredible.
Yeah, well, if anything, that came out of this.
Yeah, so fuck you twice, Kyle.
No, I obviously I echo all those sentiments. But just to go back, so James, you jumped on a Journals of the Willing with us. We did oddly enough, when we eulogized Carrie Fisher here, we did so on Journals of the Willing, and where we also talked about Bloodline.
Wow, really? See, I totally did not remember that.
Yeah, I don't think you stayed on for the full show, so you did the Carrie Fisher bit, and then you split, I think. I can't remember for sure. And then we did episode 56 just after the New Year, but that's a few days after she'd passed. But yeah, that's how that played out.
Hey, is this 2 years to the date, this show? Because it's 104. 52 weeks in a year.
That's true. It was about, yeah.
I
think 2 years, guys?
I was thinking about this today, actually.
I think.
Wow, look at that tangent.
The first episode dropped on December 15th, I think. 15th or 16th, no? Of 2015? No, a little earlier because it was prior. Well, no, it was because the release date for Force Awakens was the 20th or the 21st, I believe, no?
Well, TFA came out what? I don't even remember anymore.
I'm pretty sure it was like the 21st, and we saw it on the 20th, and your podcast came out on like the 16th or something.
I wish I could find that quickly. Well, we're
right, so
very
James,
close. Very close to the 2-year anniversary.
2-year mark. Yeah, we must be.
All right, let's move on to the second part of the question. James, how many times did you actually see The Force Awakens?
In theaters or
Theaters,
total viewings?
Theaters.
I think I saw it only twice. in the theater. Maybe 3 times? Do you know the answer? Because maybe you remember better than me. You tend to remember this stuff.
Well, from you, no. I know I saw it 3 times. I saw it with my boss once. I saw it with you guys. Then I went again with another friend of mine.
I think I saw it twice in the theater.
I saw TFA 6 times, I think, in theater, which was pretty well the target for me. It all kind of fell apart after. For Rogue One. 'Cause that was kind of my benchmark. 6 is sort of where I thought things would be comfortable. But I only hit Rogue One 3 times. And twice was opening weekend. And then I had to squeeze in a third viewing, I think late February, right before I was about to exit theaters.
That's the way to go. That's the way I like to do it.
What?
Yeah, I saw it at least 3 times because I saw it with my brother and I saw it with my wife and I saw it with you guys. So I saw it at least 3 times in theaters.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like you needed to see it more times than that?
At the time, no, but I could see it again in theaters now. Like, I wouldn't mind going and seeing it now in theaters. It's been a while.
That's the thing about it, man. It's like, you should really take advantage of it when you look at it from that regard, and that you'll never see this movie in theater again until it's like some kind of significant anniversary or whatever. And even at that, you're not necessarily going to get a chance to do it, or you're not going to want to drive 50 kilometers to go to the select theater that's showing that picture. So this one, I think I'm really going to try and absorb even more than normal. And this is sad to say from my perspective. The movie out of the Star Wars saga that I've seen the most in theater at 5 times is Attack of the Clones. Yeah, really, that's pretty rough, man. And I've said it here before too. I couldn't believe it, but I took my girlfriend at the time. I was like, come on, like Star Wars, whatever. Took another couple with us, and it's the first and only time in my life where I fell asleep in a theater, but it was my 5th showing. But when I woke up, all my friends were asleep too, my girlfriend too. I was like, oh, like, they're like, you're the Star Wars guy. I'm like, yeah, it's me. Like, still standing behind the product.
Going down with the ship. All right, so we answered that question. How many times do you see on planning? How many times do you want to see The Last Jedi?
At least once, and that means at least twice, because you can't only see it once. It's so hard to get for it all to sink in with the amount of anticipation that we build into these. I don't know. It's hard to take it all in one viewing, I find.
Oh, absolutely. It's especially, I think, with the subject matter that we're promised to get in this one. I think it's going to take at least 2 to 3 viewings minimum to wrap our heads around it. What about you, Corey? How many times do you plan on seeing this?
Realistically, minimum 2. Like, I mean, there's no way I'm not seeing it 2 times. I want to see it 4 times. I could probably maybe go for more. It might settle on 3, but geez, there's definitely not going to be one viewing of this. I really want to get one in. The premiere is always an experience. I can't miss out on that. Probably get another one in before Christmas, maybe, hopefully. Another one shortly after the New Year, and then probably another one right before it comes out of theater.
Yeah, like I said, I'm still aiming for 6, spread out over the.
Well, let me know these times. Don't do
what?
Don't do your man dating there.
What?
No, master dating. Sorry, master dating.
What does that even mean?
Master dating? It's a word.
It is a word. You said it now 3 times.
Yeah, master. It's the act of like going to a movie or a dinner by yourself.
You gave 3 choices there, but the first 2 were both movies.
Yeah, whatever. Sorry, a movie or a dinner. You know, you're going on a date, but basically by yourself.
I kind of enjoy doing that.
Call me up.
Because sometimes it's spur of the moment.
I've only done that a few times.
Sometimes it is spur of the moment.
Yeah, I find when I master date, it's often spur of the moment.
You don't plan those out?
Sometimes, yes. That's a different kind of, experience when you master date a planned out experience.
Oh, this is getting weird.
Yeah, let's bring it back. Reel it in, Kyle. You're in
Reeling
charge.
it back in. Okay. All right, so question number 3. If you had a background role in a Star Wars movie, would you rather it be with the Rebellion/Resistance or Empire/First Order?
Corey's going to loophole this, and he's going to want to be part of the Resistance/Empire.
Well, really, if I had to be a background character, I'd kind of prefer to be neither. Like, if we're talking background,
I
like,
think...
what?
I joked that he was going to say both, and in the end, he's going to say neither.
No, I got an answer here. Okay, I would like to be a resistance fighter. That's my final answer. A resistance fighter in the long run, just because the story's still untold. It'd be cool to be that kind of like guy that fandom just attaches itself to. Like, oh man, this anonymous dude, whatever his name is, like, so cool. Instead of being a wiener like Snap Wexley. But if I had to be a real background character in Star Wars, I would love to be at some kind of Mos Eisley type place, Maz's bar, at a bar scene, That's just kind of a given, I guess. But like with you guys, like Bradley, you could be there, Kyle, James, like we're all there and just at a table laughing our butts off, It
almost, being at a pub, you're almost making it sound like you like drinking.
I love drinking.
Is laughing our butts off a figure of speech, or is that indicative of our species we'll be playing?
Well, that's really just me trying really hard not to swear.
You've been doing a good job, buddy.
Yeah, I try.
I'm gonna take Corey's answer and just run with it a little bit. I'm gonna be a background character in a Star Wars movie on
Musician.
either side. That just is so popular that in the next movie he's a star. Corey, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I kind of like that. That's kind of where I was going to, like with the resistance fighter.
I know.
But it's nice too to be that background character that people, you don't get that extra scene, but like
I'm going to try to answer. I'm going to try to answer Bradley's question in the spirit of the question and follow the rules. Corey.
You should be the rapper, man. The rapper of the GFFA.
I want to be a bad guy.
Isn't it somewhat ironic that half of Corey's name is rules, but he never follows them?
Oh, burn!
Whatever. I think people prefer it like that.
Do they?
I think if you re-listen to episode 100, I'm going to have to say yes.
Well, it's become your calling card.
I think people like that it's your thing. I don't know that they like the loopholing. I just think that they like that it's your thing. But either way, they do like that it's your thing. So that's, you can't stop it now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm siding with Bradley. I would love to be a pilot, whether it's Resistance or Rebellion. I'm okay with either. They both look almost identical. So suit me up, man. Stick me in a cockpit and watch me smile my ass off as you roll me on that gimbal.
Same species as Corey in the bar laughing their asses off. Cool.
Sure.
I think that'd be so fun, man. Honestly, like we could each play we don't have to be humans, you know what I mean? We can be dressed up in alien characters, just whatever it is. Making fun of me for you guys. Carlos could be there.
If I was going to be a background character, I would not want to be human.
Yeah, you're right. Helmeted, mask.
Yeah, something.
Whatever.
Helmet, mask, prosthetic, something like.
Dude, you'd be on stage, James. To me, you'd be the entertainment man. MC Wicket, Big Wicket.
That's not me.
I said with him.
Oh, with.
You gotta be dropping bombs together.
Oh, this is all going sideways.
Going? Where you been?
That's true. Hey, well, I was Googling. December 14th was our first show.
There you go. It's pretty close.
So
Well, yeah, it makes sense. 104 means it's like it's been 2 full years, and then so 105 will be the anniversary.
So yeah, 105 is so next week is our 2-year anniversary show. How about that?
Yep.
Okay. I think that's it for Bradley, right? Oh, but yeah, he also had this tragic note about his friend Jordan. Man, oh man. So Brad, about your pal Jordan, like it sounds like you're a supportive and giving person, and I think you need to be there for Jordan through these dark times. He's clearly going through some stuff because, I mean, if that's the Snoke theory he's going with, I mean, the 9 days we have left here before The Last Jedi can't come soon enough. Like, he needs his fever brought down. Jordan needs to be well again.
So you like it then? What you're saying is you buy into it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Brad, thank you, man. That was great to hear.
Thank you, Brad. Jordan, your Snoke theory sucks.
Go easy, man. Go easy.
It's not mine. That's just like a hashtag. I'm just I'm passing it along.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's true, though.
Okay. We got our pal, Dave Donovan's back. Hey, lads. Disavow me of this notion, please. I'm betting the house that we get Force Ghost Yoda in The Last Jedi. And we know Luke is reluctant / refusing to train Rey. Remember the scene in Empire when Luke has that moment of shock and awe when he realizes Yoda is the Jedi Master he's looking for. And suddenly, Yoda's talking with Obi-Wan's Force voice, talking over Luke's head, debating why he can't be trained. What if Yoda appears to Luke and Rey, but it's a flip or inverse of that Empire scene? Rey's all shocked. What's this blue little ghost? But while that's happening, Yoda is laying down the law with Luke, saying he must train Rey. He's the last Jedi, it's his responsibility. Yoda reminds him he told him to pass on what he has learned, and he could be poking him with his Force Ghost walking stick while giving him a dressing down and all. Could this be the thing that makes Luke train Rey? He seems dead set against it to begin with, so something has to change his mind. Something has to happen to change his mind. This is fanboy headcanon, but it's something I could see happening. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. May the Force be with you, Dave. P.S. I double-dipped this question with TSW and you guys. Dave, that's a great question, and I don't know why you want us to talk you out of it or disavow you of it. Like, it's sounds almost perfectly reasonable to me. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I also like it. I like it a lot. I hope to see him poking Force Ghost poking him with his stick. Like, come on, wake up, Luke. It's time. Get your act together and get on with the show. Yeah, I think that sounds super plausible.
I mean,
Definitely plausible.
Yeah, I mean, we already kind of. I don't want to say no.
What I was gonna say, like we don't know, but we know Frank Oz kind of made his way over there at some point during filming.
Early on,
somewhat safe to assume that maybe not necessarily an actual puppeteering role, but for him to actually go there, that would kind of indicate that like he wouldn't need to travel if it was just a voice role. Now, if Yoda were to be in this film, he's definitely not going to ignore Luke and go straight for Rey. Like, he's got to kind of acknowledge Luke. And if he does appear to both of them at the same time, he's definitely got to scold Luke. And maybe that is what does turn him around. But there's so many other possibilities here, too, you know? Like, it could be Rey's strength and determination. If I want to dissuade Dave, anyhow, like, just Rey's sheer strength and determination and whatever her raw strength, you know, that could help change Luke. The secret, these mysteries that they possibly unlock together could help to change Luke's mind. There's also the fact that, well, not the fact, what am I saying? But if we go with this theory that Rey leaves planet with Kylo, It could be just Luke by himself again on that planet, like sulking and being like, that's the moment where he sucks it all up and what Yoda told him and what everyone told him, and now it's time for me to take charge, and I'm coming back with a vengeance here, and I'm going to take the Falcon in. Like, that's another way of looking at it as well to kind of dissuade your original theory. But either way, I do see Yoda being in this film in either voice and or Force Ghost.
Yeah, I think it's very highly likely that Yoda shows up in this. And it makes sense, I think. Someone's got to give Luke the pep talk.
It would have been nice to have been Anakin. I still hope for that as well in this film. Like, I'd love to see Anakin in this film.
I think in theory that would be nice. I don't know how that would work out.
Maybe save it for 9. But come on, Vader's got to have a bit of a little part of the saga, like the way that Kylo's obsessed with him, Luke, Leia, like everything about it, man.
I just don't know that. I don't know that I see Hayden Christensen talking to old man Luke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, James and you have talked about that before. I'm totally okay with it, but to each their own.
And forgotten all this is Kenobi, right? Like, is it more poignant for Kenobi to pop up and give that talk?
It is in a way, and that would be nice too to have Ewan McGregor on board. Imagine that. You see Ewan McGregor like all up in that. It'd be nice to see all three of them. The original 3 Force Ghosts. Like,
honestly, if they were gonna Force Ghost Obi-Wan, I'd rather see Sir Alec McGuinness, I think.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you guys?
Yeah,
I know what you mean, but
that makes the most sense. That's the Force Ghost Obi-Wan we know.
Right.
I got you there. And yeah, maybe they can CG it. Maybe they won't use Ewan McGregor, but either way, I definitely would rather see Hayden Christensen.
Interesting. Yeah, but Dave, I can't talk you out of that. I don't know if you want us to actually go against what we believe ourselves and talk you out of it. But
what I honestly do believe is that maybe even Yoda's pep talk doesn't work. Like, that's where I'm at in this. Like, even Yoda's pep talk doesn't work on Luke, and he's still like, the Jedi has to end after. You know what I mean? Like, Rey took what she needed out of that conversation to continue forward with her training, but Luke is still like, I'm bitter. And like, Rey just keeps moving forward, and her sheer determination from Yoda's original speech kind of gives Luke the affirmation or that boost that he needs to get back into the game.
Well, what if Yoda doesn't appear to Luke at all? What if Luke is closed off from all that now and he appears to her?
I don't know. That's what I was saying at the beginning. I don't know if he'd go straight for her and not for both of them. Like, I think Luke would feel pretty shunned, or well, he's a smart guy, but still, like, I don't know. I don't think you can do that, really. Like, Luke's got to see Yoda if Yoda's in it. Like, he can't exclude Luke from that.
Well, there is that shot, right, in one of the TV spots where Luke, I think he's crying, or there's a tear rolling down his face.
Yeah, that's because, to me, that's the point where he's unveiling what happened at the temple and how he failed and how Kylo, like, just overwhelmed him, and how he wasn't prepared and he didn't properly train his academy and whatever, and he feels responsible and guilty. That's finally, like, the moment where he lets it all loose, and tells her what happened. Like, you don't understand what I went through,
Well, I feel like
you think
that
I'm weak.
Part, if Luke is crying, I feel like it's because Kylo is making him feel real guilty for what's happened. Or Yoda's kind of giving him, like Dave said, a good old-fashioned dressing down and reduced Luke to tears.
That's true, too, because, I've heard rumors of this, too. There's that scene, actually, where Luke's saying that. It seems like there's some kind of glow off his face, as if he were speaking to a Force ghost. You know what I mean?
I did not pick up on that.
Well, you see that wherever he is, it seems it's a cave, but it still seems illuminated.
Well, now is that convincing yourself of something now? In retrospect.
No, it's just another way of looking at it.
Fair enough. But Dave, yeah, man, I like the theory. I kind of hope Yoda's in this movie, and it seems pretty much like he is. So I will not disavow you of that thought. You should go forward with that.
You're vowed.
Yeah, Scojoimus.
All right,
Maybe Grover will be in the movie. Who knows?
that would be nice. Who doesn't like Grover?
Grover and Yoda are the same dude.
That's what I just said. And they sound
Way to
similar,
ruin
but
the
not
joke.
the same.
Near? It would be so funny if you saw Yoda saying that.
You gonna make a Miss Piggy joke next?
I got nothing.
Oh god. Okay, so before we get to Jeffrey, James, you had originally sent in a voice clip before you had decided to join in. So let's finally.
That's true.
This voice clip is a few weeks old now. So let's finally get this out of the way before The Last Jedi drops, and we get an answer before we even speculate.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I did send in a voice clip, but since I'm here, it makes more sense just to ask you guys. The clip essentially wanted to know about a kiss, since and it's perfect because I saw Leia kissing Luke and Han. Christmas song sort of is related to this, since we did have an infamous kiss in episode 5. Do you think that the second installment of this trilogy will involve a kiss? Will there be a kissing scene? And if you do think so, who's going to kiss who?
Luke and Leia. Yeah. You hadn't seen each other in a long time. There's no one else around. You do what you got to do. That's a joke.
I honestly wouldn't mind a peck on the lips between those two, like just a quick like I missed you, like
No.
it still conveys love. Like I kiss my son on the lips all the time still. Like there's nothing wrong with that to me.
Those two cannot do that. Don't do that.
I agree with you. It's not going to happen. But I think the one answer to this is, if there were any possibility, it's got to be Finn and Rose.
Yep.
Like that's the way I see it. Like it seems we've heard about some kind of romantic relationship brewing between them. I see her being like strucken by him, and him kind of seeing what she sees and kind of taking on that role, and then seeing the strength that she has, the courage she has, the woman she is, how fierce she is going to really like get him going. It could be that moment where they get separated at one point where they're about to get executed, and he could say or she could say, "I love you,"
I know.
I don't think they'll go that far, but they'll convey that in a way,
We could get that moment. I'm going to say yes, but this is a very light yes. And I do agree it's those two characters. But I think we know already that Finn is still from the minute he wakes up, he's still on Rey. He's still thinking about her. And we knew from The Force Awakens that he was sort of smitten with her. So for him to bury those feelings and move on to Rose within the space of one film, unless there's a clear time jump, I don't know that I'll still say yes, but again, it's a light yes. I'll say for sure, 100% guarantee that by the end of 9, those two are a couple. But I'm not completely convinced.
That's a guarantee.
What's that, James?
That's a guarantee.
I'm guaranteeing by the end of 9, those two are a couple.
Yeah, that's.
But not by
unless
8.
one of them dies.
Nah, I think they're safe. I think they're both safe. But I think, I don't know. I mean, romance is a part of Star Wars, whether we like it or not. Say what you will about the romantic arcs in these movies. It's there, and I think it's a component of it.
And to be honest, it was something that was missing from TFA. Like, we didn't get any proponent of that. Like, I think 2 dudes hugged, and fandom went crazy saying they're gay. Which is fine, but like, there was absolutely no indication throughout the whole film that there was a Raylo ship or a Pinn and Foe ship. There you go. I did it again, huh? But either way, there was nothing, no indication between anyone except for Han and Leia. And even at that, it was just like, hey, how you been? I missed you. Okay, gonna go die now. Catch you later.
Yeah, no, that is all correct. At some point, I think they're going to put it into these movies, and I don't think it's going to involve Rey. So,
I don't think it's going to involve Rey either.
In TFA, like Finn seems to be enamored and kind of infatuated with
yes,
Rey.
of
Like
course.
I don't think necessarily it's a platonic love. Like I think it's going to become that in the series. But at the time being, like it seems like he's pretty smitten with her.
Oh, he absolutely is. I mean, he asks her about a boyfriend. He's fishing. He's looking for details about this beautiful young woman standing in front of him that ran, like he says, ran right into her.
Pinn and Foe.
Oh,
we're reaching the 2,000 milliliter level here, guys.
Oh man.
Oh, I'm really cracked up. It's late.
Actually, I think we busted it. To be honest, let me count here. Yeah, we done busted that shit.
Everybody, Corey is proud to announce he has had 2 liters of beer.
No, 2,000 milliliters.
Yeah, 2,000.
Yep. So that's about that's a 6-pack.
Yep. It's all over after this, though. Let's wrap it up.
We're getting there. So yes, James. Finn and Rose, I will give a light yes to in episode 8, but a definite yes by the end of 9. Is that a fair enough answer?
That's a good answer, I'd say.
Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily. Well, I'm gonna say it's gonna happen in this film, with whatever they go through, the escape, the infiltration, the separation, the execution. I think there's gonna be a climax to that, or at least if they could be, a second or two, whatever it is.
All right, James.
I don't think anybody's going to kiss in this movie, but I think it would be really interesting if they gave the kiss to Snoke, and part of his arc involved love. You laugh, right? But he could love somebody.
He could. That would be creepy.
Could someone love him is the question.
Oh, maybe that's why he acts the way he does.
Yeah. I'm so opulent.
Well, they spoke about that, right? Like it's his whatever was taken away from him, whatever loss he's suffered at the hands of the people he hates. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe somebody very special that he loved was killed.
Well, to be honest, I don't want to have that Course Leia Nye moment in this film.
Nah.
I don't need to see Snoke making out with anyone.
No.
You can see like a tongue coming through his cheek, like.
Yeah.
Like coming out of or going in?
Going in and then coming out.
Oh man. Okay. Well, James, I would say thank you. Well, yes, thanks. Thanks for the question, dude.
How did we get here? You're welcome, and let's hear let's have people tweet at us. Do you think there's going to be a kiss? Yes or no on the kiss? Let's hear from you.
And maybe I'll take one last little stab. Amelin Holdo kisses kind of a nobody female. Like just someone that's there, like that comes to support her. And
Can she kiss Destro?
What's that?
Can she kiss Destro?
Destro.
What's her
Phasma.
name? Yeah, thank you.
Unless she kisses her with the mask on, we've heard confirmed reports that her mask is still not lifted in this film.
Wasn't she cagey about that though? Again, you're right. I think we were told that no, the helmet stays on for the whole flick. She's not taking it off, but I think she was asked either on Kimmel or at one of the press events, and she sort of kind of dodges the question.
I didn't hear anything about it, but it'd be cool between the fight between her and Finn to see like Finn like inflict some like Twilight of the Apprentice damage on her mask.
That'd be kind of cool. All right, let's move on to the last bit of the show here. Some jiving with Jeffrey. He likes that title. I like it too. So he's got a question this week.
Hey, my Canadian brothers. It's Jeffrey from the Canto Cast. Here with yet another Seinfeld Star Wars mashup. Okay, after your debate, last week I had you guys going about Jedi Master Newman or Jedi Master George, and, that was quite entertaining to listen to. This week, I was wondering, who would be the Snoke of the Seinfeld universe? But you must leave Newman and George out of it. Anybody else except for George or Newman. Have fun with that, and I'm pretty sure, Corey, you'll have some kind of loophole that we'll all just love. Take it easy, guys, and talk to you soon. Can't wait to hear your answers.
So, Corey, there is a correct answer, by the way, as there usually is to these questions, and you seem to not land on them. But let's see you loophole it this way.
Well, I think the correct answer is Newman, still to this day. And I think you guys whiffed on that, but either way. We've come to terms with it. We've agreed to disagree. And I thought about it and I thought about it. I think there was a few that came to mind. Bob Sacamano. He can kind of replace any answer. He's the loophole, really. Then there was Jay Peterman. He kind of came to mind. But I think the ultimate answer to this question is Steinbrenner.
It is Steinbrenner. Corey got the question right. My goodness, he is James. He's got.
Well, Newman was right as well.
He's got 2 liters of beer in him,
right
and he's still rocking it.
I think they call that horizontal decolleté.
I think they call it functional alcoholic.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, that's the correct answer.
Steinbrenner's a good answer. Yeah, it is a good answer.
Yeah.
I think we also would have accepted Soup Nazi. I also would have accepted Mr. Pitt.
Oh, Mr. Pitt's a good answer too.
Buff.
Yeah. I think we could have also accepted. I wish I could remember the name. Who's on the file that George is working on?
The Penske file.
The Penske.
Yeah.
I think you could accept Mr. Penske.
You Penske material.
No, Mr. Pitt's an underratedly good answer, especially since he did Palpatine's voice in the Clone Wars for a while.
Oh, I did not know that, but I like my answer more now.
That is good. Yeah, I mean, I look at it this way. Like, Snoke likes his riches. He likes his grandeur. He likes domination. He seems very much like someone who carries a grudge. He operates in the shadows. He was definitely a dark force in this world. A nasty, petulant man-child. And there's one person in Seinfeld who matches all those things. And it's George Steinbrenner.
Yep, well done.
There you go. Jeffrey, consensus. Look at that.
Newman was still pulling the strings.
Like, you were doing so well in this episode, and you had to go and just scuttle yourself.
Okay, whatever. Steinbrenner.
All right, Jeffrey, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Ads, Bradley, Dave, always appreciate the input and the questions. Come back again next week for episode 105.
One more before the Last Jedi.
Yeah, and yeah, give us things to talk about, because I don't want to talk really at all about the movie itself. We could talk about our excitement and maybe things that we're excited about, but definitely not touching any more clips, TV spots, stuff like that. We're going to steer clear of all that chatter. So yeah, I just want to make sure we have enough things to say. Powerful Friends, you guys can look forward to Worthy of Recognition this week. That's going to come out on Powerful Friends Friday. And for those listening who are not yet a Powerful Friend, like I said off the top of the show, patreon.com/tumblingsaber, $2-3 a month, and you get, what do you get, Corey?
You get what is it? Worthy of recognition.
Sell it, baby.
You get saber rattling whenever Kyle can land a really sweet interview, which actually I have to say Kyle's a pretty good interviewer. They're actually really fun to listen to. We get Journals of the Willing. We also have the Bridger transmissions where we're breaking down animation. And Sith Disturbers, Super Salty. Find us there with Mr. Carlos Candido. And y'all can find me at Chop Rules with a Z.
Just jump right in there with the Chop Rules with a Z.
Come on. I gotta go to the bathroom. Let's get out of here.
He has 2,000 milliliters of urine to evacuate.
2,500 now.
Well, Corey, you're dismissed. You can go. And yeah, well, there you go, guys. That was the Patreon program. Corey pretty much nailed it all. You also get listed, or you get entry into our giveaways. So check that out. Patreon.com/TumblingSaber, $2 to $3 a month, and you get all that and more. So James, Corey mentioned his Twitter. What is yours? You got two now that you need to plug.
Yeah, sure. Come say hello at Tommy Bombadil 1, and please come check us out at An Unexpected Pod. I got to get used to that. All one word, An Unexpected Pod. Come check us out and join along.
Yeah, get in early. It's going to be a cool podcast coming from James and Ads. Can't wait to hear it. I'm at Tumbling Saber, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Come say hi. And don't forget this week to go check out the Star Wars Commonwealth. Load up on great Star Wars podcasts before The Last Jedi drops. And just fill your faces with Star Wars goodness. Everybody's doing great work. And that's it. Again, we're looking forward to speaking to you guys in Worthy of Recognition later this week. And for those of you who are not powerful friends, we'll catch you all in episode 105. So thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you later.
Watching you walking away from me. Were you watching me? Was it just a dream? Just a dream. And I believe I can save you. Just don't let me go. And I can see always waiting, and
That was so much longer than the show notes looked. We must have rambled a lot. That was really long.